Good morning, everyone, and thank you for registering and attending this morning's webinar on the upcoming Fresno Station Early Works project. My name is Gordon Miyochi, the procurement manager for this project, and I'll be the moderator for this webinar. The purpose of this webinar is to provide information and to get the word out to our construction industry about the opportunity to bid or be part of the team if you're a subcontractor, supplier, or small business that bids on this project. And with that said, let's go on to the next slide. Again, my name is Gordon Miyochi, the moderator. The project overview will be given by Ben Lichty, our principal transportation planner. Chardonnay Valley, our assistant chief of small business, will give a talk about the small business program overview. And Lisa Crowfoot with the authority's legal office will discuss the organizational conflict of interest overview. Next slide. Okay, some important procurement process details. The Fresno Station Early Works invitation for bid webpage is what is shown listed below. Or you could go to the high-speed rail website, which is www.hsr.ca.gov. Then you go to the business opportunity section, you click on that, and then you go to the architectural and engineering, the A&E and capital contracts button, where you click that, then you'll go to the Fresno Station Early Works invitation for bid. This webpage will include industry outreach webinar video, which is currently being recorded, along with the PowerPoint presentation and the list of registrants. And any questions you have, please submit them to Fresno Station EW at hsr.ca.gov. Next slide. Okay. Ben Lichty will now take over and give the project overview.
Good morning. My name is Ben Lichty. I'm a principal transportation planner with the High Speed Rail Authority, and I will give a project overview. The components of the project include the renovation of the historic depot at 1713 Tulare Street in downtown Fresno. The early works also include site improvements at the H Street entrance, known as the Downtown Plaza, and number 3, the early works and site improvements at the G Street entrance, also known as the Chinatown Mobility Hub. So in this image on the screen, you can see the ballpark, the future station, and these areas with orange around them that include the boundaries for all 3 components of the project. Next slide. There's a image on the screen of what the historical building looked like many, many years ago. The renovation of the historic depot includes a warm shell, seismic retrofitting with structural reinforcements. There's 4-inch center cores for vertical columns, 14-inch reinforced concrete bond beams, steel strongback wall supports, roof replacement, including sheathing, accessibility compliance, including new elevators and ramps. Number 2, H Street entrance, the downtown plaza includes utilities, a new driveway, parking lot, sidewalks, drainage, landscaping, lighting, solar PV, electrical vehicle chargers. Components of the project also include permeable pavement, shade structures, and a water feature. The 3rd component is the G Street entrance, the Chinatown Mobility Hub, which includes utilities, driveways, parking lot, sidewalks, drainage, landscaping, lighting, solar PV, electrical vehicle chargers, bus bays with bus electric chargers, which also includes permeable pavement and a waiting area for the bus and transit. Next slide. This is an aerial image of downtown Fresno, demonstrating the location of the historic depot, the downtown plaza, the Chinatown Mobility Hub from the vantage point if you were hovering over downtown Fresno looking to the west. Next slide. The downtown plaza and historic depot, you can see H Street, Mariposa Street, and Tulare Street on this image with the historic depot at the bottom of the screen. The parking lot is near Tulare Street with access coming off of H Street. The landscaping and plaza area is between Mariposa Street and the new parking lot in front of the historic depot. Next slide. The Chinatown Mobility Hub includes 4 bus bays along G Street between Kern and Tulare Streets, right in front of Central Fish Company, if you're familiar with that area. And the new parking lot with solar PV and ADA parking with the solar canopy is near Inyo. The entrance is near Inyo Street. Coming off of G Street, which also includes that waiting area, plaza space, with new sidewalk and landscaping on right off of G Street. Next slide. This is a conceptual illustration of the downtown plaza, standing at Mariposa Street, looking towards the historic depot and towards Tulare Street, illustrating trees, landscaping, and different site components that are just for graphical representation. Next slide. Basic terms of the contract include an estimated construction cost of $50 million, total contract duration of 24 months. The contract will be awarded to the lowest responsible bidder. The contract will be compliant with small business goals and requirements, including 25% small business, inclusive of 3% micro business, 10% DBE, and 3% DVBE. Next steps include an anticipated bid release in the fourth quarter of 2025, so coming up pretty soon. The contract will be awarded and notice to proceed towards the end of December 2025. Groundbreaking on the Fresno station early works is expected to occur in early 2026. Again, if there are questions, as Gordon mentioned, please address them to Fresno Station ew@hsr.ca.gov. Next slide. And I will hand it off to Chardonnay.
Thank you, Ben. Good morning, everyone. I am Chardonnay Valley, the Assistant Chief of Small Business, and I oversee the Small Business Program. My team will be your point of contact for all your small business needs. And on the slide, you will find my team's email address. Next slide, please. So currently we have a good number of businesses that are already performing on the contract, a total of 941 that come from all over the state. As you'll see on the map, it designates where these are businesses are essentially located. We also have 32 small businesses that are from outside of the state. In order to meet the small business goal and in accordance with the Small Business Disabled Veteran Disadvantaged Business Enterprise Program, you will need to designate a small business officer that is responsible for being the point of contact for managing, tracking, and reporting on the small business, disadvantaged business enterprise, and disabled veteran business enterprise participation to ensure compliance with the requirements for small business. This person will work closely with my team, and once the contract is executed and a small business officer is designated, you will hold a kickoff to go over the small business requirements with our small business compliance team, and they will go over that in more detail during that kickoff. Next slide, please. The authority's board of directors approved the small business program goals, and each goal aligns with the state and federal statute and regulations. The slide here shows examples of the small business, disabled veteran business, disadvantaged business enterprise goals for the contracts with blended funds and 100% state or federal funds. Next slide, please. So the authority is committed to diversity, and we engage with a wide range of businesses, but we are not a certifying agency. We partner with a couple of different agencies to utilize their certification designations, as you see listed here on the slide. Anytime you want to bring a new business on board, they have to be certified with these departments here, and their certification must be current and valid. The California Department of General Services offers a small business, micro business, and small business for public works certification, which includes firms who specifically work on public works. DGS also offers the Disabled Veteran Business Enterprise certification. The California Unified Certification Program, which is the Disadvantaged Enterprise certification offered by a group of agencies throughout California. Caltrans is the agency in Sacramento that offers the certification statewide. There are various other agencies that offer the certification statewide, including the Bay Area Rapid Transit and in Southern California, LA Metro. So businesses are able to choose the agency in the region. If you have any firms that are trying to join your team with this certification, the DBE, please let them know it can take several months to get certified. Next slide, please. All right. So the authority does not prohibit sub-consultants or subcontractors being exclusive to one offer, but we do strongly discourage this practice. Next slide, please. All right, and so finally here, this slide covers our Connect HSR vendor registry. We encourage all businesses to register with Connect HSR. It's free, it's online, and simple to complete. And businesses who register will be notified of opportunities and workshops hosted by the authority and other agency partners, and can learn about how the authority does business. So we encourage businesses to join and register, small business, prime contractors, all so that you can stay connected and find out more opportunities on the project. If you need more information on how to get registered, please reach out to me and I will put you in contact with someone from my team that can help you with this process. Thank you for your time today. And now I will turn it over to Lisa Crowfoot.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. As Charday mentioned, I'm Lisa Crowfoot. I'm with the authority's in-house legal team, and I'm just going to give you a quick overview regarding organizational conflicts of interest. Next slide. All entities who want to enter into a contract with the authority must comply with the authority's organizational conflict of interest policy. That's a mouthful, so we just call it OCOI for short. And why is that necessary? Well, first, our federal grants require it, and this project is covered by a federal grant, so it is an important requirement. But also it ensures a fair and transparent procurement process, making sure that we have maximum competition and we get many people exposed to the minimize protest exposure. It also ensures compliance with state requirements as well. We recently updated this policy in 2023. So if you're familiar with a former policy, we have updated it. And I'll give you some information later about how to get a copy. Next slide. In the policy, the organizational conflict of interest applies not only to your current contracts, your current company, but also we look at other relationships such as parent entities or affiliates, or possibly even contracts that you might have with other projects that align with the high-speed rail. So you might be familiar with other state projects that might eventually connect with our project or other regional transit authorities that we're working with. So think about kind of those broader relationships that you might have. And generally speaking, we look at whether this other relationship, this other contract that you might have impairs or potentially impairs your ability to render impartial assistance to the authority in an objective manner. The other thing we look for is whether there's an unfair competitive advantage for a contractor bidding or proposing on a project. And it is both the perception or appearance of impropriety and also the actual instance of impropriety or unfair competitive advantage. Next slide. Two general situations we see a lot, and this might be familiar to you. An example where a contractor might have an unfair competitive advantage is where someone might have inside or non-public information about a procurement, which could give them a leg up. Or if a contractor provides procurement services related to a procurement, they're not allowed to go ahead and bid on that procurement because they would have that information. Also, if they've got a impairment of their objectivity, that's another thing we look at. So let's say a contractor has one contract with the authority, they want to pursue a second contract with the authority, is that contractor in the position to oversee, approve, or further their work under the other contract in any way? So those are kind of the classic examples that we see. Next page. There is a common misperception that you're conflicted out just because you've worked with the project, you've got a current contract with the project. That is not correct. Some conflicts can be mitigated and they allow folks to participate. So please reach out, and we work really hard to make sure that we can find a way to mitigate conflicts if they exist. We try to really balance the need of the authority and not trying to restrict too many contractors from coming after procurement. So we really want to maximize the amount of bidders and the amount of participants that can participate in the project. And our policy requires that we look really hard to find mitigation, and we work with both our clients, but also with contractors to find ways to put safeguards in place. Next slide. So the process is, you should first review the conflict of interest policy. I'll give you an email later to get that information. If you have any concerns after looking at the policy about an actual or even a perceived conflict, you should reach out to us. You don't have to have pre-clearance before you participate in a procurement. Only if you think that there's a concern, you should reach out and get a conflict of interest. Classic example is if you've never worked on the high-speed rail project before, and you have no financial affiliations with other authority contractors, you're good. You don't have to reach out. But if you do have current contracts or former contracts, that might be something you want to take a look at. And in conjunction with asking for conflict determination, if you think you need it, you'll also have to submit a form with a bid that discloses any conflicts you have at the time, and we'll take a look at it at that point as well. Next slide. So I've given you an email here, legal@hsr.ca.gov. Reach out to us if you've got any questions, if you need a copy of the policy. I realized last night that our conflict of interest policy that's on our website is a link to an old policy. So please just email us and we'll get you the current version. We will ask you some questions for some information, have you provide some information, and we will make a determination. We'll give you something in writing so that you understand what the determination is and what any mitigation requirements are. Next page. Okay, that does it for the conflict of interest presentation. I think, Gordon, maybe you'll pick up here for the remainder of the information.
Okay, thank you, Lisa. So important procurement process details. Again, Fresno Station Early Works invitation for bid webpage is listed at this website. And again, you could always go to the authority's main webpage, go to business opportunity, the A&E capital contract section, then to the Fresno Station Early Works invitation for bid. And on that webpage, you'll find this webinar video along with this PowerPoint and the registrant list. And again, if you have any questions, please send them to Fresno Station EW, this is all one word, at hsr.ca.gov. And I hope you found this webinar helpful. Thank you for your time and interest on this project, and have a great day.